Money. Money isn't everything. Money doesn't buy happiness. We've all said those things, and probably most of us believe it, but doggone it, we don't act like that. This is the final in our 5-part series on money, wealth, investment, and alternatives. Now, as a society, we are pretty much obsessed with money. First, you have the reality that the financial sector of our economy has grown. Banking, finances, insurance, that part of the economy has grown threefold in comparison to the total GDP since the 1960s. It's 3 times bigger proportion of our total economy now than it was in the 1960s. So money, trading money, moving money around, investing money, it's a huge part of our economy. And then there's the second point about the GDP. We've talked a lot about the gross domestic product, but you'll recall that the GDP measures basically money, the flows of money, the money that we dish out to buy stuff, whether it's a local good or a product made in China coming back across the ocean, or a Wall Street split-second transaction. All of those monetary transactions add to the gross domestic product. So here's the deal with that. We put such a high value on the GDP as our measurement of economic well-being, but really so much of it is simply us doling out the cash. Now that not only reflects the fact that there's a lot of bad stuff that gets counted as good in the GDP, and a lot of good stuff that doesn't ever get measured in the GDP, like taking care of your kids or volunteering in the neighborhood. But even more so, that focus on money, transactions, as the way we measure our economy makes it much more likely that we'll have economic booms, because we're not measuring real wealth, real value, real assets. We're measuring money flows. And so we can have greatly inflated bubbles and big bursts, as we talked about before. So as a society, as the way we've structured our economy, increasingly money is at the center, and that's not good for us. Now, there are some alternatives. What if money was not the centerpiece of the economy or the center of our life? So I'd like to suggest 2 things as means or steps to move away from money as the center of our being, as an economy, as a society, and as individuals. First of all, while we're making this transition, there's no question that we need to fight for livable wages. This is because so long as such a large part of the population is working full-time or nearly full-time and making such low wages, then money, of course, is their primary preoccupation. They must fight for more money. They must work more hours. We must work more hours. And so until we can elevate the wages of people who do the work that we need, whether it's house care, whether it's healthcare employees living with people in our homes, whether it's fast food workers, whatever it is, until we can elevate the wages of ordinary working folks, then money is a necessary obsession. So number 1, fight for fair wages. But secondly, in a broader sense, in a longer term sense, we need to work towards greater self-reliance. That is to say, more ability to take care of more of our needs at home or close to home. That's a family endeavor, that's a neighborhood endeavor, that's a community endeavor. Moving away from a dependence on this and the corporations and the banks that make this available. That self-reliance is not only a practical step in an increasingly populated world, but it's also something that lots of evidence and lots of stories leads me to believe that it's much more likely to lead to happy, healthy, contented people. So before I sign off this time, I want to remind you, if you watch Take 5 with Tony, please subscribe. We've got a growing number of people of all sorts who are watching Take 5 with Tony, and we'd love to have you as a regular subscriber. Thanks so much. See you next time.